Okay, so let's take a look here. So when I'm solving for a target variable, really what I'm doing is I'm just rearranging the equation. Okay, so all I'm doing here for solving for a target variable is rearranging the equation. Okay, the reason why is because I'm not actually going to get an answer, like a numerical answer. I'm just rearranging it so a different term is isolated than what was isolated before. Okay, so you're going to go through it just like you would solving an equation. So here it says solve for b. So you want to isolate the b. The biggest thing here is if the variable that you are targeting is inside the parentheses, then you have to distribute. If it's not, you don't distribute. Okay, so it is not entangled in parentheses, so no, do not distribute. Okay, so here what I would do is I want to work to isolate this. So I'm going to start with the thing furthest, which is under the division sign, a 2. So I'm going to do the opposite of divide, and I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. On this side, 2 cancels, and I have 2 times s, so I write that as 2s equals b times a plus f. Again, I do not distribute that. I don't want it distributed. This is just b times a plus f, so I do the opposite of times, and I divide. And if I divide on one side, I divide on the other. Then these cancel, and then that's it. So you have 2s over a plus f equals b. And you can leave it just like that. One other thing with the homework is that if I left the s as a capital letter and the a and f as lowercase letters, you have to leave it like that. If you make the s lowercase or the a and the f capital, it's going to mark it wrong. You have to leave it in that form. Okay, now our second one, we want to solve for v, and v appears twice. So this one is going to be a little bit trickier. It appears 2 times. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to get rid of the fraction, which means I'm going to multiply both sides by this a plus b, this denominator. Okay, so now I have a plus v times n equals av. Now, because the v is inside parentheses here, I am going to need to distribute. So the next thing I'm going to do is distribute. So a times n is going to give me an, and then v times n is going to give me vn. Okay, so here you multiply by the denominator. Okay, then you're going to distribute. Okay, then you're going to group the v on the same side. So get both v terms on the same side of the equal sign. Okay, so this vn, I'm going to subtract, so it comes over here. Okay, so I have a, n. I can't actually subtract those aren't the same letters. So this is av minus vn. Okay, now you're going to take v out as a GCF. Okay, so if I divide both terms here by v, that's going to give me v then it cancels off of both of these. So A minus N. And then finally, I will divide by A minus N. Okay, so divide both sides by A minus N. V is isolated. Okay, so this is your answer here. Now, I know a lot of you are going to want to cross out the A and the N, but they're fundamentally different. This is A times N, this is A minus N. Totally different operations. You cannot cancel them out. This A and N are attached to each other through subtraction. So this would be your answer right here. Okay, then we're going to look at unit rates. Okay, so rates are fractions. So 55 miles per hour can be written as 55 miles, where per is that fraction bar, 1 hour. That's 55 miles per hour, or 1 milligram per 10 pounds. So solving a proportion is one fraction equaling one fraction. You want the same units in each numerator and denominator, and then you're just going to cross multiply. So for example, a camel can drink 15 gallons of water in 10 minutes. At this rate, how much water can the camel drink in 6 minutes? So what I like to do with these problems is make a cross. And then in the cross, I will put in the top, so I'm going to look at my rates here. So I have gallons per minute. Okay, so I'm going to put gallons in the top and minutes in the bottom. And then I'm going to fill that in. So we have a camel can drink 15 gallons in 10 minutes. So that's the same fraction, 15 and 10. And then at this rate, how much water, so that would be gallons, can he drink in 6 minutes? So it's giving you the 6 minutes. This is what you're trying to find. And then that cross helps me set this up because this is one fraction equaling, so the equal sign is where it crosses, one fraction. So 15 over 10 equals x over 6. Okay, then cross multiply. So 15 times 6 is 90. 90. And 10 times x is 10x. And then divide by 10. So you get 9. So a camel can drink 9 gallons of water in 6 minutes. Okay, then you have in 2005, 14.4 out of every 50 employees of a company were women. So if I have my cross here, I get employees, or no, 14.4 women out of 50 employees. So women is 14.4 out of 50, that's total employees. If there are 43,910 total employees, estimate the number of women. So we're given the total again, so that would be down here, the bottom, 43,910, and then your x would be at the top. So then you have fraction, 14.4 over 50 equals x over 43,910. cross multiply 14.4 times 43,910 gives us 632,304. And then 50 times x will give us 50x. And then we want to divide by 50. Okay, so that gives us 12,646. We'll round that down. For the total number of women in the company. Okay, so go ahead and try the next one real quick. All right, so this one's a pretty quick one. So a giant tortoise can travel 0.017 miles in 1 hour. So we would put miles in the numerator. And hours in the denominator, so 0.17 in 1 hour. At this rate, how long would it take to travel 1.6 miles? So miles is in the numerator. We want to know the time here. So if we set this up as a fraction, we can just go ahead here, cross multiply 0.17 times x, 0.17x, 1.6 times 1, 1.6, divide by 0.17, and let's see what that gives us. Doesn't tell us how many to do, so let's do 2 decimal places, 9.41 hours.